All right, today we are gathering up all those parts to the dinner that we've been creating over the last few weeks, and we are plating them to create a dinner for two for the dolls in the dollhouse. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, so today we are going to plate our little dinner for two. I picked out 2 of the steaks, 2 of the portions of green beans, and 2 different baked potatoes. I've got 2 plates here. We're not going to make the plates today, but I am working on a tutorial for plates. I'm just not happy with what I'm doing yet. And I have some TLS. Now these plates I can bake. I pulled these out of my stash. I made them a couple of weeks ago as an experiment, and they worked okay, but I know that I can bake them because of how I made them. So I'm putting a little TLS out. Now make sure that I've got the side of my steak that I like the best. Yep, that'll be that. Well, yeah, that side. And I'm going to coat the bottom in TLS. Now, if you don't have plates that are bakeable, if you're using like a plastic plates or something like that, you could definitely use glue for this. Just make sure that your glue you choose to use is appropriate for polymer clay, because some glues will melt polymer clay over time. So we do have to be careful. And I'm just putting just a dab of TLS on the bottom of each one. Then I'm going to bake these at the recommended temperature for a full 10 minutes. I like to do a full 10 minutes when I'm using TLS lately, because I've noticed that it sometimes just doesn't cure well if I don't. Now, this plate is not quite flat on the bottom, so it's trying to do strange things. I'm really missing my tweezers. I've got to get some tweezers. I tried picking these up with a piece of raw spaghetti and it didn't work. They're just a little too heavy. All right, let's get these on. I'm going to go bake these off. When they are baked and cooled, I'll come back and we'll take a look at our finished dinners. All right, our dinners are baked and cooled, so let's move on to our dessert plates. All right, so let's plate our desserts. And I thought about a couple of different ways to do this, and I decided to go with this one because I think it's the most doable for everybody, and it'll still make a really nice presentation. And this is going to be a multi-step process. Now I am going to put out some TLS onto this piece of aluminum foil. Let's use the dull side. It won't be quite so reflective in the camera, because we're going to need this a couple of places here. And we're actually going to bake this twice. Now I have my little slices of cheesecake, and I have a couple of little dessert size plates. Just like with the dinner plates, these are ones I'm experimenting with yet, and they're just what I have on hand. You want to try and use a slightly smaller plate for your dessert if you have it. So I'm going to take a little bit of TLS and I'm going to put it on the bottom of my, and make sure you're putting it on the bottom. Remember, you've got a chocolate crust as well as a chocolate topping. Now, oops. Do my best to set these on here, and I'm going to bake these now for 10 minutes just to get this set still, so that on our next step we won't inadvertently knock it crooked. So I'm going to do the other one off camera. When I get these baked and cooled, I'll come back and we'll work on making a really pretty drizzle. At least I hope it's going to be a really pretty drizzle. See you in a sec. All right, now that these are baked and cooled, they're secure on their plates, I don't have to worry about knocking them loose while I'm working with them. We're going to make a drizzle. And to make the drizzle, we're going to use some more TLS, and we're going to use white oil paint. Now I know there are some potentially very dangerous videos out there and people out there telling you, oh, you can use acrylic paint with TLS. Don't do it. Number one, the Sculpey the manufacturer of the product says don't use acrylic paint, use oil paint. I'll go into more detail on the blog post. I've talked about this in past videos, in past blog posts, the reasons why we use oil paint in here and not acrylic. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat this morning. So I'm going to take that white and I'm going to mix that white oil paint right into our TLS. And with the white, I know it's really hard to see when I've got it mixed in. You kind of have to just, in person it's a little easier. There's a slight difference in color. I know on camera it's probably really difficult to see. I tried a couple of different things to do this, and this really does come out really the best, and it makes like a drizzle. It's runnier than our frosting that we make, and it's just a really nice way to make something that acts like a drizzle like you would use in real life. And I'm trying to kind of tease this down the side of my cake, which is hard to do on camera. But just work with your toothpick, get it where you want it. I want it to look like it's running down the side. And then you bake this just like you would any other project with TLS on it. You bake it at the recommended temperature for 10 minutes, allow it to cool, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to decorate the second one off camera where I can get it up where I can look at it closer. And when these are baked and cooled, I'll come back and we will finish this up. All right, here are our desserts out of the oven. They're all baked and cooled. I love the little detail of the little glaze. Just kind of dripping just a little bit down the side. You could go into more detail if you want to. I was trying to keep it pretty simple, but these, combined with our plated steak dinners, is going to make a wonderful little dinner for our Dollhouse dolls for Valentine's Day or any special occasion. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure and hit the like button, leave me a comment, check the blog post for a lot more details and more of my thoughts. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, push that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.